What if one of the greatest engineering achievements in human history was built by a civilization that official history says should not have been capable of building anything advanced at all? What if the real mystery of Puma Punku is not the stones, but the machines that disappeared? Because these blocks are not normal. This block weighs over 130 tons. It is made from andesite, one of the hardest volcanic rocks on Earth, and yet the cuts are unbelievably precise. Straight lines, perfect angles, flat surfaces, T-shaped grooves. Some of these blocks fit together so tightly that even today, engineers struggle to explain how they were made. No cement, no iron tools, no modern machinery. According to conventional history, these people had no steel, no wheel, no advanced writing system, no industrial technology. And yet somehow, thousands of years ago, at nearly 4,000 meters above sea level, someone created one of the most precise stone construction sites on the planet. This is Puma Punku, near Lake Titicaca, high in the Bolivian Altiplano. And what exists here today forces us to ask a terrifying question. What if ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we were ever taught? Because the deeper you investigate Puma Punku, the stranger it becomes. These stones do not look carved, they look manufactured. And tonight, we are going to attempt something almost nobody has tried to do. We are going to reconstruct, step by step, the lost technology that may have built Puma Punku. A machine, a system, a forgotten engineering process. And the most disturbing part? The material that may explain everything is also the reason why almost none of it survived. Wood. But before we can understand the machines, we need to understand the impossible precision they left behind. Because the mystery of Puma Punku is not just one mystery, it is dozens, and every single one leads somewhere darker. Let's start with the material itself. Andesite, on the Mohs hardness scale, where diamond is rated 10 and talc is rated 1. Andesite sits between 6 and 7. That makes it incredibly difficult to cut cleanly. Modern engineers use diamond saws, industrial grinders, computer-controlled machines. But according to mainstream archaeology, the builders of Puma Punku only had primitive bronze and copper tools. There is one major problem with that explanation. Copper is far softer than andesite. Bronze is still nowhere near strong enough to produce cuts like these. You can chip the surface, you can slowly wear the rock down. But creating perfectly flat surfaces with millimeter precision, perfect internal angles, smooth T-shaped grooves, that is a completely different level of engineering. And yet, there they are. Hundreds of blocks, scattered across the site, some weighing over 100 tons, others smaller, but often even more geometrically complex. Because the smaller blocks contain something that changes everything. Standardization. The shapes repeat, the grooves repeat, the dimensions repeat. These were not random stones, they were components, pieces of a modular system. Think about that carefully. We are not looking at rough stone stacking like primitive masonry. We are looking at engineering. Blocks designed to interlock. Blocks designed before construction even began. That requires planning, measurement systems, repeatable manufacturing. In modern terms, industrial thinking. And the deeper we go, the more impossible that becomes. Now comes the second mystery. The stone itself did not originate here. The nearest quarry for some of these stones is over 10 kilometers away. Other materials may have come from nearly 90 kilometers away, at almost 4,000 meters altitude, without modern roads, without wheels, without cranes, without heavy machinery. The largest red sandstone block discovered at Puma Punku weighs approximately 131 tons. Imagine moving that, not across a flat modern road, but across mountainous terrain, through mud, through elevation, through harsh weather. Even today, transporting a 130-ton object requires specialized engineering teams. But somehow, ancient builders succeeded. And here is where the official explanation begins to collapse. Because it is not just the weight that matters, it is the precision. Moving giant stones is difficult. Moving giant stones without damaging precision-engineered surfaces, that is an entirely different challenge. And then there is another mystery. The site is shattered, blocks are overturned, broken apart, buried, scattered everywhere, as if something catastrophic happened, perhaps earthquakes, perhaps destruction over centuries. But if the original complex was far larger than what survives today, then the amount of precision engineering once present here may have been enormous. And if that is true, then the builders were not making occasional perfect cuts. They were mass-producing them. That changes everything. Because one craftsman can make one perfect cut. But dozens of identical cuts across multiple stones? That suggests a repeatable process. And repeatable processes require machines. At this point, most documentaries stop. They show the stones, they show the mystery, then they jump to aliens. But there is a much more disturbing possibility. What if ancient humans really did build this? And what if the reason we cannot explain it today is because the technology itself disappeared? Not metaphorically, physically. Because there is one material capable of explaining almost every missing piece of the puzzle. A material strong enough to build machinery. Flexible enough to create complex mechanisms. Available almost everywhere on Earth. And fragile enough to completely vanish after centuries. Wood. Wood is archaeology's greatest blind spot. We find temples, but not scaffolding. We find pyramids, but not lifting systems. We find cut stones, but not the machines that cut them, because stone survives, wood dies, and if advanced wooden machinery once existed, it would leave behind almost nothing, except the marks it created, and those marks may still exist on the stones of Puma Punku. Now we arrive at the most controversial part of this entire mystery, because cutting hard stone does not always require a harder blade. That is a common misconception. There is another method, abrasion. Instead of slicing through stone directly, you grind it down using abrasive material. And one of the most effective ancient abrasives available near Puma Punku? Quartz sand. Quartz has a hardness level capable of grinding andesite over time. Experimental archaeologists have demonstrated this. But there is a problem. Doing it by hand is painfully slow. One clean straight cut could take days, weeks. Yet Puma Punku contains hundreds of meters of precision cuts. So the real question becomes, what if the process was automated? Imagine a massive wooden frame, 2 hardened rails, a sliding carriage, a blade-like wooden guide filled with wet quartz abrasive, back and forth, again and again, powered by crank systems, counterweights, human rotation, possibly even water-assisted force. The abrasive does the cutting. The machine provides consistency. That changes everything. Because humans get tired, humans vary pressure, humans drift off angle, machines repeat. Exactly. And that is what the stones of Puma Punku seem to show. Not random craftsmanship, mechanical consistency. Cuts that look repeated, measured, standardized, almost manufactured. But straight cuts are only the beginning. The real nightmare lies in the famous T-shaped grooves. These grooves appear across multiple blocks, perfectly repeated, nearly identical. And they are incredibly difficult to create because the cut extends underneath the surface. You cannot simply hammer this shape out randomly. It requires controlled geometry. Now imagine a second machine attachment, a specially shaped abrasive cutter designed specifically for T-grooves. Controlled movement, mechanical stops, standardized dimensions. Suddenly, something impossible becomes repeatable. And here is the truly unsettling part. Nothing in this theory requires alien technology. Every mechanical principle involved already existed in ancient civilizations. Crank systems, rotational force, linear motion, abrasion cutting. The terrifying possibility is not that aliens built Puma Punku. The terrifying possibility is that humans did. And we completely underestimated them. The cuts are not the only mystery. Some surfaces are polished so smoothly that they reflect light. That level of finishing requires another process entirely. Polishing, again using abrasives, but progressively finer. Coarse sand, medium sand, fine powder. Now imagine rotating wooden polishing discs. Hours, days, weeks of controlled pressure. Mechanical polishing instead of random hand sanding. The result? Mirror-like surfaces, uniform texture, industrial consistency. Exactly what we find at Puma Punku. And if these systems once existed, what would remain today? Almost nothing. The wood would rot, the ropes would decay, the mechanisms would collapse. But the stone? The stone would remain, like fingerprints from a vanished civilization. Now things become even stranger, because some researchers notice something unusual. Linear marks, parallel grooves, tiny repeated striations. In modern engineering, these resemble saw marks, not random scratches, not chaotic hand tool damage, consistent directional traces. And then there are the drilled holes, uniform diameters, smooth inner walls, flat bottoms, features consistent with tubular drilling. Again, not impossible with ancient methods, but difficult, extremely difficult, especially repeatedly. Consistency is the key, because consistency implies systems, and systems imply engineering. The more you study Puma Punku, the harder it becomes to believe this was improvised primitive labor. Everything feels planned, measured, controlled, almost industrial. But even if precision cutting was possible, we still face the transportation problem. How do you move 130 tons through mountainous terrain? The answer may again involve wood, not primitive dragging, mechanical leverage, winches, cabristan systems, massive wooden cylinders, braided rope, mechanical multiplication of force. Imagine chained pulling stations, a relay system, teams rotating giant levers, one station after another, slowly advancing colossal blocks across the landscape. Not fast, but possible. And most importantly, nothing here violates physics. That is what makes Puma Punku so unsettling. The mystery is not magic. The mystery is forgotten engineering. And then comes one final detail almost nobody talks about: drainage. Some blocks contain integrated water channels, perfect slopes, precise alignment, calculated flow direction. That means the builders planned hydraulic systems before assembly. Every block needed to fit perfectly into a larger design. That level of planning is extraordinary. This was not random stone carving. This was systems engineering at extreme altitude, thousands of years ago, without modern technology. At least, that is what we are told. Now step back for a moment. Look at the full picture. Precision cuts, standardized modular blocks, integrated drainage systems, massive transportation capability, mechanical consistency, all achieved in a civilization supposedly considered primitive. So what are the possibilities? Either we are dramatically underestimating ancient human engineering, or something about history is missing. Because if wooden machinery once existed on a large scale, then time erased almost all evidence of it. Think about that. What survives from ancient civilizations? Stone, only stone, the least fragile material. Everything else disappears. The machines, the cranes, the scaffolding, the cutting systems, the transport systems. Gone. And suddenly history begins to look very different, because maybe ancient people were not primitive at all. Maybe we are only seeing the fossilized skeletons of civilizations, while the real technological systems vanished long ago. And that possibility changes everything. The next time you see Puma Punku, do not just look at the stones, look at the empty space around them, because the real mystery may not be what survived, but what disappeared. Machines erased by time, engineering systems reduced to dust, technologies forgotten so completely that modern civilization mistakes their results for impossibility. And maybe that is the greatest mystery of all. Not whether ancient civilizations were advanced, but how many times humanity has risen and been erased? Because if people thousands of years ago were capable of building this with technologies history no longer remembers, then what else once existed that we can no longer even imagine? And perhaps the most unsettling thought of all is that the stones of Puma Punku are not evidence of primitive civilization. They are evidence of lost knowledge, knowledge that may have vanished forever, unless the stones themselves are still trying to tell us how it was done.